hush tone. Let's not talk about it because, you know, you are ministers in the temple of justice.
Everybody.
And as ministers, we should, this temple, we shouldn't discuss it like that in public.
When the CJN comes out to say that confidence in the judiciary is nosediving, it's a very strong statement.
Nosediving, it's like begging the question. It's like trying to paint it, you know, in a appealing way. Don't make it look bad as it is. It's when you say nosediving, that means it's going down. It's already down. That's why I gave you an instance with the number 1 and number 2.
The reason, the question I was going to ask you on that is, with statements like that, I mean, an admission of a problem coming from the number 1, do you have confidence that, you know, there are plans in place for reform?
Yes, I do, because apart from the fact that she did not just come out to say, like others, is nosediving, and, you know, we'll set up a committee to look into it, and as soon as she assumed office, she took steps. Look at the Justice Naron's case. Every time I come here to discuss even politics, I must mention Justice Naron. But even a day after I discussed the matter here, the next thing we heard on the news was that Justice Naron and Achibon and one other judge in Abuja had been recommended for dismissal.
Oh, Yusuf, yeah. And
so it shows that this woman is ready to do something. And then the next thing we heard, even some editorials in the Guardian newspapers, not in Guardian, in the newspapers, were to the effect that the CGN was trying to play to the gallery, that she, without recourse to due process and the rule of law, that she just, and the fair hearing, right of fair hearing, she just dismissed some judges, and this is a way of corruption trying to fight back. Because when you fight corruption, it will definitely fight back. Because
so how can we help her?
When you so that's why the League of Nigerian Lawyers.
That's a new body?
No, not a new body. Nigerian lawyers are distinct from the NBA. Because there are some lawyers in Nigeria that are not members of NBA.
They don't subscribe to the ethos of NBA?
They pay annual dues. Some pay, some don't even pay. But you hardly see them in meetings and they will tell you, look, I'm a lawyer, that's all I know. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Nigerian lawyers in general support this move by the CJN to rid the judiciary of corrupt judges. It's a move we all must encourage. If we all agree, everybody, we all agree that, you know, in some cases, policemen will tell you, there's no need charging a criminal to court because when we get there, we know the matter will just die a natural death. And then in some cases, they will tell you that when you get to court, lawyers will come with all kinds of frivolous applications. And then the most annoying part of it is that anytime there is an allegation against a judge, you never hear the name of the lawyers involved. There are lawyers involved. Because anytime there is, you know, an allegation of bribery against a judge, there is a conveyor belt.
So, in other words, when this recommendation was made about some of those judges, should a case in point or an example have been made of any of those lawyers who may have been involved?
We expected MBA to take the bold step.
Commensurate action?
You know, you should. There are lawyers, like I said, there are conveyor belts. People convey these funds that we are talking about to the judges. It is not a litigant. There are cases where a lawyer will tell you, as a fellow lawyer in the matter, that look, for billing this client, we need to add the judge's money to it. Is that bad now? And so, it is not the litigant that takes this money to the judge. It's not the litigant that corrupts the judge. There's a lawyer, there's a conveyor belt that the litigant used to corrupt the judge. And so, in case when you beam a searchlight on the judge, and then you try to shade the lawyer, you know, the problem will not be solved. You need to look at both ends. You need to look at it from the judiciary angle, and also you need to look at it from the NBA angle. So while the CJN is taking this step, we also expect NBA to take, you know, the same steps to ensure that, you know, it's a simultaneous work in progress. With that, when you know that if you do that, there are consequences. Even when a client asks you, how do we compromise this judge? You say, look, it's a no-go area for me. But when you know... Clients
do ask.
They ask. Some clients would... A client came to me and said, look, client, my brother is in detention. He's been remanded, and the matter adjourned. We had an application for bail. The matter has been adjourned to May 12th. So please, how can you help me so that even if it means seeing the judge, so that this bail application will be heard and you let him, you know, just come out of Kirikiri. We can now begin to sort out the rest. I told him, I said, it's not possible. He said, you are naive. You don't even know what is happening. Wow. I said, okay, go look for somewhere that make it possible. For me, it is not possible. You see, so there are lawyers, even in Lagos, that lawyers know. Colleagues, they will tell you, look, if you're looking for a matter, if you're looking for a solution such as that, go to so-and-so lawyer. If in the case of Justice Achibon, there is no lawyer that practices law in Lagos, at the Federal High Court in Lagos, that you will ask, that will tell you, no, this man is being witch hunted.
So it's common knowledge.
Exactly.
When it comes to conduct of some of these
judges. There are so many other judges also. So that's why we need to encourage this woman. And all these editorials and the rest should be discounted.
Why did it take so long if it was common knowledge?
The same issue I raised. A situation where the number one man is asking the number two to compromise a matter, and then you're asking why did it take so long? Because if you look at the hierarchy, if the top is rotten, then, you know, it's in a state of lawlessness, it is illegal to be law-abiding.
In this particular matter, it doesn't seem that she's just concerned about corruption alone. She also seems concerned about the quality of judges that we have. So
yes, if you remember when Justice Oputa retired from the Supreme Court, late Chief Gani Fahimi said the last of the judges just retired. And then if you remember also during the Oputa panel, when Adokia Mesimaka argued his brief before Oputa, Oputa made a comment to the fact that even some judges that he knew cannot write a judgment as brilliant as that. So a situation, I talked about this last time, appointment is based on who you know. Please, the bearer is from me. Interview and employ. He can cope. So all the recommendations from the NJC are rubber stamp. We've had cases in Lagos State where the NBA had to even petition some appointments, some people who were being screened to be appointed as judges. We've seen cases where people are appointed from local governments, from banks. All you have as a criteria is the fact that you've been a lawyer, you've been called to the bar, and you are 10 years post-call. Whether you have the required experience or not, like my colleague that was here before did mention, whether you have the required experience or not is immaterial, because here it is, oh, look, who do you know? And that's why you get to hear, I don't have any problem with the kind of hereditary system that we seem to be practicing. Once your father was a judge, you must be a judge and all of that. But if you're good at what you do, fine. There should be a standard.
Do you see that standard? Do you see the road to that standard being set?
No, not at all. Not at all. So that's why I'm saying, like the CJN has said, we need to, look at this issue because it's nosediving. And I'm saying, no, it's gone far. It's worse than that. And so we need to go back to the drawing board and have a holistic approach to all of this. We need to look at, the whole issues and say, look, apart from this corruption, we need to ensure that the people that are sent there are not only, people you cannot, corrupt, but people of, repute, and there should be a standard. So, because there are some people who, apart from the fact that, you say you can't say this man is brilliant, but like we say in law, is it fit and proper to be called to the Nigerian bar? Is it fit and proper to be called to the bench? And so, being fit and proper,